All right, we're recording.
Okay.
So thank you for joining us on another interview with a local author. Today we have PatrickBSimpson. We met through the Kensington Day of the Book Festival.
Yes.
We did a spotlight ahead of the festival, and then we unfortunately did not get to meet at the festival for our little short clip video. But you accept an invitation to do an interview, and I'm humbled and thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yes.
Of course. So let's begin with yourself. Tell me about yourself before authorship, like leading up.
Right. So I born and raised in Maryland. I was born in Annapolis, 1986, but I basically was raised in Calvert County, Southern Maryland, for most of my life. Pretty just average American boy life, just growing up, late 20th century, early 21st century. But always, since I was a little kid, I've always had something about storytelling that I always loved to do. Even when I was like a little kid, writing down notes or whatever, there was always something about it that I really enjoyed. So spent, like I said, just growing up in Calvert and everything. And then basically when I went off to college, I never really thought, when I was a kid, I never actually thought I would be an author or something like that, published author or anything like that.
Right.
So I basically went to Frostburg University. I basically came back and was been working for the state for over 10 years now. But during the pandemic, or right leading up to the pandemic, there was a time in my life I was like, you know what, let's try the writing thing out. Let's kind of do so. I went to grad school, Southern New Hampshire University, which was all online for me, which was very helpful for me
So
to do that.
convenient, by the
Yeah,
way.
that and your full-time job. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
this is the only
That's
way
the
I can
move.
do it.
Honestly, I think it's the
It
move.
really is. I mean, that's the future right there. And
Yeah.
luckily, when I was there, I was able to get a lot of great support. One of my professors, Melanie, basically, who turned out to be my editor for my books and everything.
Very cool.
I was able to basically meet her and everything. So it took a few years. I mean, it definitely doesn't happen overnight or anything like that. So I just kept doing it. It was mostly for fun. And then during the pandemic, 2021, I just was sitting at home, lockdown, everything, and I was like, you know what, I got to stop just pushing this and all everything. Just to kind of like, you know what, let's write this, let's
Yeah.
do this. So finally, one day I just sat at my laptop and just started writing out Pierce. Now I had written like short stories before. I had a few published, but not a lot. But I just kept like doubting myself. So I was like, nah, I can't really. I don't know if I can do it. And then finally, I was just like, you know, you're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
You know it. You don't know what's going to happen next, kind of thing. So 2021, I sat down and I just started writing it. Basically, I had an idea for what I wanted to write. It was just a simple idea. And then basically, and it just, for this one, it just flew right at me. I would say it took me 2 months to write the first draft
Wow.
of Pierce. And then, yeah, like I said, my editor, who's been I've known her for over 5 years now, she was giving me great notes about it. So just going back and forth kind of a thing. So when I finally got this thing, it was one of those things where I got it done and then it was like, all right, now what kind of thing. So it was just one of those things where I was just like trying to figure out, get out there, trying to mail it out kind
Cheers.
of thing.
Let me
So
show that title for you. And I like the cover art too.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
There you go.
So basically, for that novel, I got really lucky with that one. So like I said, I must have went to 100 agents, publishing house, everything. Nothing. Well, I couldn't get really done for that. So luckily for me, because I'm part of the Maryland Writers Association, every year annually they have like this big event that's right outside Baltimore, basically for a writers conference. And what they do is, besides writers all from all over the state come there, they'll have agents and publishing houses there. And one of the publishing houses that was there was Apprentice House Press, which is out of Loyola University in Baltimore. They were there. I met with them face to face, and basically they were like, send us what you have, kind of thing. We
Right.
want to take a look at it. And so yeah, that was kind of like the beginning right there for me.
Very cool. It's, super productive with COVID, within the pandemic lockdown to write this book.
It was, yeah. It got a lot of artists to basically, yes, listen, we're stuck at home. Might as well use our time, use it for something. So like, I met so many people who just wrote books, painted pictures, created music. So much you can do during that time period that people took advantage of, like me.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the book.
So basically what Pierce is my protagonist, whose name is Truman Pierce. He is a janitor at like a local college kind of thing, and what happens basically, how the book begins is that there's a dead body kind of thing, and it's just like what happened or anything like that. I just get basically right into it. It was a woman that he went on one date with, and he was then next day he was going to go pick her up after work, and when he meets her basically in her classroom, she's just murdered. So he just finds her basically murdered, and that just sets off a chain basically of just him trying to figure out like who the killer is, and and it opens up this Pandora's box. Like he thought it was going to be something simple, and then it just turned into like basically gangsters, drug dealers, all that kind of stuff. That it just opens up this can of worms for this quote unquote perfect little town kind of thing, or perfect city kind of thing, and then it just goes from there.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, what has been the feedback from readers?
It's been great for them. This I got published a little over a year ago. Since then, I've gotten really well feedback for that. Family, not just family and friends, but coming here, meeting other authors and everything like that who've been reading the book. Luckily, I've been a lot of bookstores in Maryland that I've done book signings with, all sold out basically. So it's just people who just come up. It's one of those things where it's like. And there was another reason why I wrote the book. I wanted to write a short novel kind of thing. So it's around 60,000 words. It's one of those things where someone walks in, they see the cover. I said, oh, that's interesting. And they go, like, oh, wow, that's a short book. It's like, yeah, I think I might, because that's the point of it. Like, this is a weekend read kind of thing you can knock out. So that was just but I've been very fortunate with that, and great feedback people have been giving me on that.
Yeah. Then you quickly pivoted to another book.
Yeah. So So the thing about it is, and it's so true about this, you really learn as you go when you publish your book and everything. So when this was accepted by Apprentice House Press, they said, "Great, we accept it." And usually it's going to take 12 to 18 months until we actually get this published. And it's like, okay, I can sit around, I can just wait for the day it gets published, or I can use that time and write another book. So the thing about it was waiting basically a year and a half for Pierce to get published. I didn't know what was going to happen with it. I mean, I like it. They like it. And some of the people that my editor and some of the people that read it, they enjoyed it, but I didn't know how it was going to be well received. I wasn't in my mind. It's like if it does well, I can turn into a series. If not, fine. There's an ending to it. It doesn't leave you on a cliffhanger or anything like that. Which I always tell authors, basically, don't do that for your first book, kind of thing. So I was like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen with this. Let's write something else during that time. So I did have an idea for a second one. So point was like I wanted to do something that was not like basically identical to Pierce. I didn't want to be like some one trick pony kind of thing. I was like, all right, let's do something that's different. That's that's gonna another way. Basically, I want to keep it in the same genre, which is crime fiction, because that for me was just that's just the genre that just works the best for me for my writing skills. So when I got to when I started out Absolution, this one actually took longer to write. I think it was like the first draft was 4 months, about 4 months to write or something like that, because it was one of those things where I kept self-doubting myself kind of thing. That really started hitting me. This one I was confident on. This one I was kind of like, I don't know. I just kind of like, I'm going to write this scene. It's like, I don't know about this, but it was a story I really wanted to tell, and I knew it was, in my mind, I knew it was something, so I didn't want people to be like, oh, it's just a copy of your previous book or anything. So, and luckily for me, since it's coming out, people are like, oh no, that's very different. So,
yeah, love that. Doubt can be a difficult thing, to deal with like writer's block or.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, you do meet a lot of authors who they'll have the same thing as you kind of thing. You always think you're going to be alone on something, but you meet other people who you'll talk to. Someone who I've been talking with more with is Brandon Barrows, who's also another well-known author. We've talked about it before, and it was unbelievable how much him and I have in common, kind of thing, where he would be like, it's just like, he's written like a dozen novels kind of thing, but he's like, every time, it doesn't matter how many times I do it, every time I start one, if I'm writing one out, that self-doubt comes back to you every single time, kind of thing. And it's like, he's like, yeah, you just got to believe in yourself, you got to believe in the story, and just really just fight through it, kind of thing. So
when it comes to writing, what were the influences kind of growing up or maturing as a writer?
So when I was a kid, basically, growing up in Calvert County and everything, like there was like a certain kind of like crime aspect kind of thing about that I would watch on TV. I mean, even if it was like comic book show, Saturday morning cartoons, something like that, there's a crime element to it or whatever. But as I was like getting older, like finally when I was like in middle school kind of thing, me and my brother, my dad was like a big Coen Brothers fan. So basically we oh my gosh, we were watching like Fargo, and we were watching all like different kinds of things like that, where just like you can do something, it's not just, you know, a certain way of telling a story or something like that. I just felt like when it comes to crime fiction, there's so many ways, approaches you can go with that when you basically write something like that.
Yeah.
So there was so many things like growing up. So the thing about it was I didn't really get into reading until probably college or something like that. Before that, I mean, middle school, high school kind of thing, it was just more like TV kind of thing. It's just what I was watching at the time. Like I can tell you, middle school and high school, like I said, it was the Coen Brothers, it was Quentin Tarantino, and it was David Fincher. So I mean, that to me was like, but their style at the time was like open up a new door that we hadn't, I mean, seen like before the 90s or something like that, where, I mean, people were coming forward with like, let's try it like this, let's try it like this, it doesn't have to be a linear story, you can do this and everything. It was just like, wow, there's so many like endless possibilities that you can basically do with something like that. So that was basically most of my focus as a kid, basically growing up. And then when I got into college, so I was like starting to read more and more and more and everything. So
yeah, I love that. I mean, what else we want to share about the books?
Basically, so when Pierce was basically, that was being worked on, everything. Absolution, what I wanted to do was I wanted to basically, because I grew up Catholic. And I wanted to do something that was basically, all right, I want to try something different that I hadn't seen really in a while. It's like, all right, I even went to my editor before I even wrote the first word. I was like, here, let me give you an idea. I was like, what do you think of this? And she said, yeah, you should try that out, kind of thing. So like I said, a lot of self-doubt with that one, but as I kept writing it, I was like, oh, I got something here. So basically what Absolution, it really, in short of it, is a priest who gets basically he, after 20 years, so when he's in his early 40s now, 20 years he's been a priest. In his younger days, he was a drug addict. He was participating in underground fights and everything just to keep his drug addiction going. But he finally, with the help of just like faith and everything, he just was able to turn it around for him. So he was raised in a really bad city with his sister, and they basically become estranged and they went their separate ways. And then fast forward to when he's in his early 40s, he gets this basically a really strange, alarming phone call from his sister Annette, who's like, "Look, sorry, just something's happened, everything," and she breaks it off. And then basically he kind of basically goes back to, he's going from like the small community back into the city. And in the book, it's a nameless city. It's nothing, no city that I know of or anything like that. It's just a completely made up fictional place. So when he basically goes back, he sees that his sister's missing. No one knows what happened to her. She's just completely gone. But as he's trying to find her, like basically for him, it's just the layers start getting peeled back. Everything he's trying to do for 20 years, basically be a good man kind of thing, it's now starting to go back, because how far would you go, even with your morals and values, how far would you go, basically, to find and save basically someone that you love, kind of thing? Right. Will you break your own rules? Will you throw the morals and values out the window, just even though it's just one time, but would you do it just to save someone you love, kind of thing? So I really pushed to basically have this kind of like, I mean, it's a priest, but I really make it like a point when I tell people, it's like anybody can read the book. I don't really use language or anything like that only like Catholics can basically will understand or anything like that. It's just, this was more for me to try, because I met so many people in my lifetime who were like, this is what I believe, this kind of thing, and then something happens and they just do a complete 180. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought you meant that kind of thing. So I wanted to, like, for me, I guess, another thing about writers is that we write because there's something in us that we're trying to figure out. We're trying to basically say, all right, I'm going to write a story that has like action, all that kind of stuff, but I'm trying to have a deeper meaning to it. Maybe and for me, it was just like trying to figure out like questions I have. It's just about morality, about values and everything. It's like, gosh, well, I mean, what would I do in this situation kind of thing? And I really wanted, so that's why for this one, it's just kind of like, it was going down this rabbit hole for me. It was just where I just was thinking about what could you basically do in this kind of situation that I hadn't really thought about before. And I just wanted to make sure that that's where I was kind of like having self-doubt kind of thing. Because, I mean, if anybody, it hasn't happened yet, but I was afraid because if anybody walks up to me and they think it's like the book is like Catholic Fight Club or something, it's like, it's not. If you think that's what the book is about, you're way off. It's a deeper meaning to that. Pierce is a pretty straightforward novel. I mean, it's just, this and that kind of thing. But Absolution, I kind of had like a deeper meaning. So that's why that's why with this one, I was kind of like, all right, let's not do what basically Pierce did. My protagonists are two very different people kind of thing. But I still wanted to, there's something about books, about the hero's journey that I find just astounding for. Me personally, I think the past couple of years, lots of stuff I've seen or whatever, I don't really like or whatever. I'm thinking about the stuff that I grew up with, about what it means for someone to, they know it's good at the beginning, but they go through basically this gauntlet to basically get to the ending kind of thing, but do they lose themselves or anything like that? And I mean, as a kid, you're saying what was kind of an influence for me, even though it's not a novel. But when I was 5 years old, when I finally understood what it means, a hero's journey kind of thing, when I was 5 years old, I watched Star Wars. Right. And when I just, like, as a kid, it was like, it finally got to me, just seeing just my heroes, you know who they are, they go through all this basically suffering, all that kind of stuff. And then basically, how do they get out of this? How can they be at the end kind of thing? And so, the past couple of years, I kind of was going back on that. So with Absolution, I really wanted to try and go about what it meant for someone to, a protagonist or someone to go on the hero's journey kind of thing, to walk this path kind of thing. You meet them, I make it very clear that they have these set of rules in their lives. They're this type of person, but now you're going against some dark force. How's that going to change them? How's that basically, what's going to mean basically when they come out, if they come out the other side, kind of thing? What are they going to look like than what you saw them at the basically beginning of the story? So that's what really fascinated me about just trying to understand about just faith, just about morals, just about what it means to have a shield with you kind of thing when you're going up against evil kind of thing. So it was a lot what I was thinking about. Like I write something and I just think about like, wow, yeah, I didn't think of that before, but so yeah.
You have me intrigued for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So what's next?
So basically what I'm doing right now, so I'm glad I'm going to be able to tell you this, but a sequel to Pierce, it has been accepted by the publishing house. It should be out spring 2026, which I'm very excited about to continue the story. The publishing house, they were like, hey, this is the first book was doing well. We'd like to see another one kind of that. So I was able to get them a second book about it, and it was accepted. They really enjoyed it. So we're working on it right now to, like I said, to get it sometime, hopefully April or May of 2026 was the sequel to for that will be out. So I would, because someone asked me before, how many can you write these? I was like, I'll keep going as long as I can, honestly, with these. I really like writing about them. So
congrats on that.
Oh, sure. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So any events, signings, anything coming up you want to note?
I'm kind of working with Absolution right now for this summer. I'm trying to set up more dates, basically. The only thing I could think of is this Saturday. I don't know when this is going to come out, but this Saturday I do have a book signing in Frederick, in Barnes & Noble in Frederick. I just had one recently in Annapolis, which it was basically mostly sold out kind of thing, so I was very happy about that. But Yeah, I'm still trying to hear back on a number of places to set up for this weekend. But
Very
I
cool.
mean, people can go to my website.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, like how to connect.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I have a website, PatrickBSimpsonWrites.com, basically, that people can go to. Basically, they can write to me or whatever to basically any book signings they want to come out to and everything. Because another thing I've been very happy about learning last year is how many people really just, I mean, we keep saying that like bookstores are going to die out or something like that. That's not the case. If I've learned anything since last year, it's that people want to go out. People love basically to get a new book or anything like that. So I've been very thankful and grateful to everybody who's been able to come out. Like I said, I've had a bunch of sold out shows or anything like that. So
yeah,
it's
awesome.
good. Yes, I'm very happy to see that more people are coming out. So
yeah, and we'll put all this information in the description of the videos, so people can see that direct links into that. So that'd be perfect. But yeah, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for sharing. I hope that when the second one comes out, we can meet up again and
I would love to
chat about the books.
That'd be great.
By the time I should have read the books by then.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.